Now let's look at writing the equation of a line perpendicular to y equals 2/5 x plus 5 through -2 comma 4. Now perpendicular lines cross at right angles. So to help us see this, I'm actually going to graph this one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the original line is going up 2 over 5. So here's our original line. What we're trying to figure out is what would be the slope of a perpendicular line. Well, we know that a perpendicular line is going to have to go at a right angle to it. So the first thing I might think of is, well, let's see if we could figure out how to make such a thing. Let's see, right angles. Looks like it would do something like this. So now, given that, looks kind of like that, do we think we could figure out what that slope would be? Our first guess might be, absolutely, it's negative. So let's think. The current slope is 2/5. What we're trying to figure out is what is the slope perpendicular. That's what this little upside down T means. So I've put my spaghetti line in to see if we can figure out what is the perpendicular slope. And using my little late pass here, we can see that makes that right angle because it's making the corner of my late pass. So let's see if we can figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and make a note here. I'll use this intercept. Let's see if we can figure out what is this slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Oh, check it out. The perpendicular slope is -5 over 2. Doesn't that seem just a little bit fishy? This was 2 over 5, and this is -5 over 2. It's the same two numbers, just flipped, and the sign is opposite. That is always going to happen. What you're going to do to turn a slope into its perpendicular partner is you are going to flip and switch. So you're going to flip the fraction and switch the sign. So flip the fraction, switch the sign. So 2/5 flipped to 5 over 2, positive switched to negative. Now that you have that, you grab your coordinate, and now we're going to do the math. Y equals mx plus b. So 4 equals -5 over 2 times -2 plus b. -5 over 2 times -2 is 10 over 2, which is 5. Subtract 5, that's -1. And so my perpendicular line that goes through -2, 4 is -5 over 2x minus 1. And if I wanted to prove it, I could come down here. If I go to -1, and I could go down 5 over 2 or up 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. Oh, look at that. There's -2, comma 4. And if I test it with my little hall pass, there's my right angle if I'd used a ruler. That's how you find a perpendicular line. It's flip and switch. And just to make sure you get it, if the original slope was -1/3, the perpendicular slope would be to flip to 3 over 1 and then switch from negative to positive. If the original slope was 2, the perpendicular slope would be to flip to 1 over 2 and switch to negative. If the original slope was 4/3, The perpendicular slope would be to flip to 3/4 and switch to -3/4. That's how we would find a perpendicular line.